Welcome to SA Current Affairs, the show that aims to inform you and update you about the latest developments in the political landscape of South Africa. Today we are going to analyze and unpack the statement that was made by Helen Zille during the Clement Manyathela show. We are going to help you to understand what does her statement means from a foreign policy point of view. We are also going to invite the views of Professor van Niekerk, who is a foreign relation expert, and he is from Thabo Mbeki School of Governance. In order to realize a prosperous South Africa, it is important for our leaders to provide leadership. In particular, prominent leaders like Helen Zille. They need to promote national pride in terms of the statements that they are making. This is what she said. She said the world is gravitating towards a borderless society. And this is a problematic statement that we are hoping to analyze. The statement that says we are gravitating towards a borderless society is disingenuous because if you look at Africa, we have 52 states and each state have a border. And those borders, they are being managed by the management authority of that specific country. So to me, it appears as if Helen Zille or the Democratic Alliance, they don't want to take responsibility when it comes to foreign policy. And unfortunately, it will affect a whole lot of issues which we are facing in a country as a result of improperly managed borders. So I think it would be proper for Helen Zille to promote the interest of South Africa and be responsible as a leader and be responsive to the needs of South Africans as a South African leader. Now let's listen to the interview and hear for ourselves directly from Helen Zille.
Is that an approach that you are willing to back as well? Not that now that you are governing with the ANC, their approach in the last administration was quite clear, categorically clear on where they stand as a government on the war in the Middle East.
Well, we haven't made foreign policy the deciding issue in this election. You know, whatever South Africa does or says about the war in the Middle East is not going to change that situation. Our mission is to rescue South Africa. It is a hard enough task. Nowhere in the world have people created a stable, successful democracy, least of all in Africa, where there are such contesting groupings, such a strong identity vote, such differences in class, in income, in inequality. It's an incredible task. No country has ever succeeded in doing what we're doing. And in fact, one day the whole world will have to, because borders are shrinking, people are migrating, no borders or passports or visas are going to be able to stop them.
Now let's listen to the views of Professor van Niekerk in relation to foreign policy and domestic policy.
So if we look, for example, at the campaign trail, not the party positions themselves, but in the campaign trail, very few parties except for the ANC would have mentioned foreign policy issues. In fact, of all the issues that DA raised, foreign policy was not one. In fact, Helen Zille said our focus is domestic issues.
But let me bring foreign policy closer to home. And this is where the GNU really needs to pay a lot of attention, Thabo, which is our immediate neighbors. Lesotho, Eswatini, Mozambique, Zimbabwe. There are issues there that are troubling. We've got problematic borders. We've got a border management authority. And that relationship, that very close relationship with our neighbors, we have to normalize it because many people complain. And there's lots of, attitudes towards our neighbors. In fact, this is part of our domestic policy debate, is our immigration policy and who do we give jobs to and on what conditions? And what do you do with illegal immigrants, those who are undocumented? And what do you do with this wave of crime that is flushing over our borders and has actually taken an international character? Right there, the position of Home Affairs and domestic affairs become critically important for the members of the GNU.